Welcome back to the Sixties Forum. The title of today's show is Lee Harvey Oswald Acted Alone. It's about conspiracy theories and why they're irrational, and people's worldviews in general, and their philosophy of life is the bigger extension of that. But what you see in the background is a clip from the film Dear Bridget. It's 1965 with Jimmy Stewart, Bridget Bardot, and the guy from Lost in Space, the kid who played Will Robinson. So one way to take apart the irrationality of the JFK assassination conspiracy theory is to look at Oliver Stone's movie. And basically, there were very few facts in the movie. It was all third-person hearsay. There were characters like Mr. X. Now, the way that Jim Garrison lines up the people in the car, the limousine, to demonstrate the magic bullet couldn't be correct is incorrect, because the way he lines up the people is on a flat plane in the limousine. That's not how it was. The reality was JFK was raised on a platform in the back seat, and Connolly was significantly lower in the front seat. So they've determined with computer imaging that if they reverse engineered the trajectory of the bullet based on where the targets that it hit, it ends up back at the school book depository, 6th floor, and that is where Oswald worked. Now, if you think about it, what would the motives be for a conspiracy? Some people think, what would the result of the assassination be? Well, Johnson took over the presidency, and Johnson pretty much carried on Kennedy's policies, and even to greater effect in a way, having the mandate of the people after the 64 election to go forward with civil rights. And now the Vietnam question, which is controversial, about would JFK have gone to Vietnam? Well, the problem with saying it's all Johnson's fault is that he kept all Kennedy's advisors. McNamara was a Kennedy advisor. But I have a trivia question for you, and I'm going to answer it at the end of this clip. The question is, who was the vice president in 1964? So, anyway, why do people believe these conspiracy theories? I don't know. Now that we have the internet, we've heard millions of different conspiracy theories, and the latest big conspiracy theory craze is the 9/11 one. And, if you've heard any of those theories, they are mostly insane or irrational to the point of insanity. But as far as JFK was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald, and I've seen both sides of the evidence, and I lean toward him acting alone, because there's so much evidence that points to him. There's no smoking gun in effect, but again, it has to do with your worldview, what you believe. If you believe in rational thought, and it's a chaotic world where chaotic things happen, you will believe tend to believe in rational explanations rather than conspiracy theory explanations. If you believe that the world's run by a few super intelligent but super devious people conspiring behind the scenes to do everything, then on one level that leaves you completely powerless. You have no power at all if these few people are in total control, and so on two levels, it's a bad conspiracy thinking is a bad thing. One, it's a lack of empowerment, and two, it's a lack of rationality. But you know, and then the other assassinations of the 60s, RFK, killed by Sirhan in front of many witnesses, but still the conspiracy theorists say there was a conspiracy. The way they get around the fact there were so many witnesses is that they say Sirhan was brainwashed. One was a Palestinian. RFK says he supports Israel 100%. Is it that much of a stretch to think that a Palestinian might have a little bit of a temper? But the thing is, even if RFK had not been assassinated, he still would have been very hard for him to capture the nomination. Humphrey was way ahead in delegates. The only way that I could see that he would have captured it is if he would have convinced McCarthy to withdraw and throw all his support to RFK, and that was possible. But you know, he still had a very long way to go after California. Actually, he won California by a very slim margin against McCarthy, but Humphrey was still the front runner. I'm going to answer that trivia question. There was no vice president in 1964. After the JFK assassination, Johnson took over, and there was nothing in the Constitution to appoint a new vice president until after a general election, which was in 64, and then Humphrey was sworn in January 20th, 1965. So in the event of something happened to LBJ, it would have been gone to the Speaker of the House, which was John McCormick of Massachusetts at the time.